Well, when it's time to talk with older loved ones about their future care, you know what? It can be a very tough conversations to have. But with a lot of choices out there, there's added stress to finding the perfect place. But you don't have to do it by yourself. I want you to meet Dustin Baker. He's of Assisted Living Locators, and he is the assisted living matchmaker. And I love that. What a great job you must have.
I love it. I love it.
Good for you, Dustin. Let's talk about, this is that time of year. We might be seeing family members we haven't seen in a while coming in. We may notice, they're getting a little, it's a little tougher for them to get around. What are some of the red flags we should be looking for? Not just now, but any time with somebody elderly.
Well, I mean, first of all, when you walk in and you haven't seen your family member in maybe a year, 2 years, it's Thanksgiving, is coming up in a couple days here. You might notice that their personal hygiene might be kind of lacking a little bit. Maybe they're having some issues not paying some of their bills on time. Things of that nature.
Okay, those are a couple. I didn't think about the personal hygiene thing. That's a good thing to watch out for. When you're needing to have that conversation, how do we go about that?
It's always a tough one. I mean, I know when we were approaching my grandmother, a few years back, and my grandma's extremely independent. She just recently quit driving, but. We wanted to get her somewhere where we know that she did have that support system around her.
Right.
So just kind of talking to her about maybe some of the activities that are there. The transportation, where if she was not feeling all that well, maybe somebody could take her to the grocery store.
Right.
And kind of really talking about those points rather than focusing on the care. That can be really daunting to somebody.
Yeah, finding out what's important to them and then helping them. Now you do this, you physically tour assisted living locations, and you physically take a potential resident to tour these locations. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll get that call, I'll find out what their care needs are, where they're at cognitively, their budget, desired geographical location, and I'll either pick up the resident themselves or a representative of, and we'll go into several different communities or smaller facilities, the residential assisted living homes.
Right, right. Oh, gosh, what a relief. I mean, this whole task can be daunting if you've not done it before. Do you recommend that this is something that you plan ahead for? I mean, nobody wants to do this, in an emergency situation.
Right, and I think that this would be a perfect time given the holidays that are coming up. Maybe sit down with grandma, aunts, uncles, and ask them, what their retirement situation is looking like. Have you guys had that conversation?
Yes.
Maybe their idea is to stay at home with the caregiver, and maybe letting them know what that looks like on a financial basis.
Right.
So if that's their plan, start planning for it ahead of time.
And once you place them, if they choose to go into an assisted living facility, you also do a follow-up.
Absolutely. So within 24 hours, I'm going to be calling them. I'm going to call the facility, community, wherever they're placed at. I'm going to call the family member, and I'm going to do a face-to-face follow-up within 1 week. And then the same at day 30 after they've been there, to just make sure that they feel as though it's the right fit as well.
Good to know, especially if you have, family members who are out of town and, you just can't have eyes on them. That's a wonderful service. Dustin, thank you so much for sharing what you do. It's so important to so many people. And as he said, you want to prepare in advance. You don't want to do anything like this at the last minute in an emergency situation. If you need help finding a place for that loved one in your life who needs a little extra help, you can give Assisted Living Locators a call at 480-649-0008 or visit them online at chandler.assistedlivinglocators.com.